a new hip replacement. Real science is boring, and UFOs and aliens is a lot of fun.
Well, the point is that with UFOs and aliens, the sky is literally the limit. Aliens and UFOs are capable of anything, but it all gives us something to believe in beyond ourselves, which I think human beings always crave. We need to know beyond us.
There's a very concrete precedent.
Orson Welles had just directed the famous War of the Worlds radio broadcast, the dramatic show that frightened millions of Americans into believing the country actually was being invaded by monsters from Mars. It was Halloween night.
Orson Welles created a radio program which mimicked live reports from the field, in which the reporters told people that tubes had landed near Grover's Mill, New Jersey, that Martians had emerged from the tubes, that they had annihilated the New Jersey State Militia, which was the National Guard of the time. They were advancing on New York City, and they were in the process of annihilating everything that came in their path. Many people were fooled by this, and indeed it caused a certain amount of panic.
War of the Worlds was 100% entertainment masquerading as news. When it was exposed as such, everyone thought this is one of the great hoaxes of the century. We now have maybe 95% entertainment masquerading as news. And the fact that we know that doesn't seem to make a difference.
As part of a huge 4-day celebration of the broadcast's 50th anniversary, the entertainer and mentalist known as the Amazing Kreskin was invited to give an outdoor demonstration of the power of suggestion. He selected a group of 70 people in the crowd. Without any kind of special effects or sleight of hand, using only his voice and mind, Kreskin was able to make them believe Martian spaceships had returned.
I spied one of the subjects on stage. It was a lady in her 80s. And we saw her walk down the steps of the platform. I thought, oh my God, is she going to this UFO she's hallucinating? No. We stopped it in time. She was about to, some 80 years old, grab out of the policeman's belt his revolver and was going to fire point blank at the aliens she saw coming at her, which of course were not there. It was just crowds of people that were surrounding.
As happened with the 1938 War of the Worlds broadcast, radio invites you to participate actively by supplying your own imaginary pictures to accompany what you're hearing. Like radio, the internet invites you to participate. Surfing the net can be a transfixing experience, pulling you in and leading some people to suspend their disbelief.
Outside environment is closed off. There's no distractions around you. You have a bright light. It's almost like a hypnosis situation. A bright light, the light's dimmed around you. You're only thinking of one set of patterns. Now, interesting things will happen after that. It's very, very romantic to be able to narrow your attention into something, especially when that something does most of the work for you.
This is a recreation of a real website. The announcement on it is fake.
There have been hoaxes. There was a big internet hoax in the fall of 1998 involving a star that we had looked at, EQ Pegasi, that I had written up for an internet site, actually, and some fellow in Britain apparently put on his site that he had used a backyard antenna and had found real signals coming from this thing. That was interesting, too, to find out how even stories that, if you look at them at all critically, don't hold up, still carry a certain amount of weight with a large fraction of the public.
There are sociologists and government officials who believe that the world has more to fear from paranoid reaction to the news of alien contact than we have to fear from aliens themselves.
What you would find is a fair number of people entering into advanced preparation, laying in food, their own water supply, medical supplies, being armed, figuring out how to communicate with one another with all of the phone lines down and things. There will be a survivalist kind of element.
Now, what do you think the gun will do for you? Against the aliens? I don't know. But when humans find out we got food and water up here, well, I'm going to protect my family. And I don't trust the government that they can handle this problem. When the aliens come, it's going to be big.
Do keep in mind that there's no danger in picking up the signal. After all, I mean, if I pick up my favorite DJ on my car radio, I'm not worried that that DJ is going to, jump into the front seat with me and start molesting me or anything like that. I mean, just picking up a signal is completely passive sort of effort, and there's no danger there.
Although so far there have been no fully documented close encounters, it's impossible to keep people from believing. Pop culture will trump hard science every time. Yet despite movie and TV fantasies, we have seen again and again that the greatest thing we have to fear is not them, but ourselves. Mass media continues to feed and exploit our unending appetite for both science fiction fantasy and the truth about the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, though, the scientists searching for intelligent life in the universe have become media savvy themselves.
There's obviously a really strong interest in the public in the question of whether there is extraterrestrial life. There's a lot of interest in the sort of paranormal aspects of that, like UFOs and crop circles and abductions. And what we're doing is giving people a chance to actually work on the scientific end of the problem.
Dave Anderson and his colleagues at the University of California, Berkeley, have enlisted the help of 500,000 volunteer private citizens around the world to help search the heavens for the ultimate hailing signal. They call it SETI at Home.
The idea is that if you have a really, really big computer job that's going to take a lot of computer time, you can either make your computer faster, or you can divide the problem up into pieces that can run on different computers in parallel. It's kind of like having a lot of people working on one problem at the same time.
We record the data at the world's largest telescope, and then we break it up into little pieces. Everybody gets a little piece of the sky and a small frequency band to analyze. These small work units, we call them, these little chunks of work that we break up from our data at the telescope, are sent over the internet to people with these screensaver programs. It takes a few days to analyze that data, and then when it's finished analyzing the data, the screensaver automatically sends us the results and gets a new piece of data to analyze.
If SETI at Home succeeds in picking up an alien wake-up call, some ordinary citizen somewhere in the world may be credited with the success. But if you really want to get involved, you can do what Mike Fox and Bob Lash have done. Build a radio telescope all your own.
The name of this amateur radio telescope system is BAMBI, which is an acronym for Bob and Mike's Big Investment, and it certainly was a big investment for us. This is an ordinary 8.5-foot satellite antenna dish that normally would be used for satellite TV reception. What's different, though, is what happens once it gets inside the house. There we have no satellite reception equipment at all. It's all entirely designed for SETI work.
Right now, in the average home, you probably have more powerful computers than all of NASA combined during the moon landings. And so that gives us a huge advantage, with a very low cost.
Anybody who has the technical skills and wants to replicate a system like ours could do it probably in under $5,000.